Hey everybody, back again, and today
It's Greatsword time.
That's right, boys and girls, as you can tell, it's finished. So with this one, I kind of went on a bit of a manic episode and stayed up till 4 in the morning. And since I was in my pajamas looking quite disheveled, I did not deem it worthy to create a video of the finish of this sword. Ended up deleting about 4 hours of footage, not because the footage of the sword wasn't good, but because me in it looked like somebody who hadn't slept in 3 days, who really needed just to go the hell to sleep. But I have finally slept since then, so instead of doing a finished video, I will do a let's show you guys what it looks like now that it's finished video. We'll start at pommel and work our way to point. Here we have our semi-clamshell pommel, which is a 4-knob clamshell, and as you can see it has some green and red false gemstone in it, with a twine wrap at the bottom and top of the handle, and heavy cloth that is CA glued into place, so it is still soft and pliable, but it's not going to come off. Our pommel has those false gemstones, fake rubies, and fake sapphires. Moving on to our handle, we have a wrapped handle, like I said, heavy cloth that is CA glued and twine wrapped on the ends. We give it a nice two-handed grip with a stop in the center, a swell at the base, and a large swell at the top to keep your hand from interacting with the guard in any way. Let's move on to the crown jewel of this sword in my opinion, which is the guard section of this sword. So here is our guard section. It consists of 4 roses and 8 leaves, and as you can see I've used resin and mica powder to give them a more lively look. We made the roses look as if they are bleeding the red color out of the top of the leaves and down the body of the flowers, just to make them feel a little more alive. We also put those false gemstones in our slots here that we cut, and we've added some actual gold chain to the outer edges here, just to spice things up and give it a little bit more color. Guards have a slight cut in the top on both sides, which I did at the forge, just for aesthetics to capture some light in between the roses and the leaves. The sections that were fullered on the guard is where the chain is being held in by resin. It's not coming out. So we've got 4 pieces of gold chain, 4 roses, and 8 leaves on this guard. See, one side does sit slightly higher. I didn't notice that till it was too late to fix, but it's not going to affect anything in the function of the sword. It just makes the guard look a little bit more alive because it's asymmetrical ever so slightly. You wouldn't have even noticed it probably until I told you. Moving up the blade, we have a spine reinforcement with a little ghoul who we've given red eyes and a white mouth to make him a little bit easier to see from all angles. His eyes really glow even when his mouth is obscured, so it gives him a really aggressive, really spooky kind of look. And these hooks act as reinforcements to the blade as well as a halfway point stop. So basically any cutting that occurs here will get caught on this section, I'm hoping, and make for some really cool slow-mo footage. And as we move up towards our point, you can see everything has been sharpened. The blade edge is sharp on both sides, and we have a nice temple style aesthetic. Now I could have used a flatter to get rid of all of this deviation in the blade, but I wanted to have ever so slight rippling like it has, so that way it has some chatoyancy, as one would say, the illusion of light moving across the face of an object, which ultimately gives this sword a bit of a more lively, ancient kind of look, as I was going for something somewhat eldritch horror-esque with this sword. The thing is, the steel has enough carbon content to harden. I did do a quench to about a foot below this guy's head, which is as deep as I could get it in my water bucket, so this was water quenched and tempered. And from that, it did harden up quite well. It did temper quite well. So it's only truly heat treated about 3/4 of the way down from the tip, but we have a reinforcement of hardened rebar that's been welded on here to act as a stiff spine that's not going to allow this lower section that isn't heat treated to bend at all. We might lose some edge retention on this lower third right here, but that's not really the primary cutting portion of this blade to begin with, so I'm not really concerned. So this sword is 5 foot 9 inches tall, so it is 1.5 inches shorter than I am. And it is roughly 6 to 8 inches shorter than the other 2 great swords, making it not an ultra great sword, but just a more historically sized great sword. Yes, the blade is a bit large. Yes, the weight is not historically accurate because it is far heavier than historical great swords. However, It is a real great sword that I made, that has been hardened and tempered, that is also quite beautiful in my opinion. Now we'll obviously be doing a testing video for this, but at the moment I am actually out of targets. As you know, I tend to use water jugs, water bottles, milk jugs, things of that nature to test the swords and weapons on this channel, and those are usually from personal use or from family donating them to me to chop up, and I have ran through all of the ones that I've had stored for a little while. So I have to recuperate my supply on that before I'm able to do the testing video. You might see a video or two come out before this gets tested, but don't worry, I assure you, this will see a testing video. But I'm going to get you guys some beauty shots of this sword and some really nice lighting so you can really get a good look at what we've done in the finish work for this blade, because I know I can't really show it that well just holding it up in front of the camera. It's a little too large to just kind of manhandle and show you guys all the details. But that does it for today's video. If you guys like what you're seeing, do me a favor and do that thing right there. And until next time, God bless. Stay sharp out there. If you're looking for a custom sharp object like a knife, sword, polearm, whatever, check out the Etsy store. Link will be at the end of the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.